Job insecurities grow. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to talk about the growing insecurity in employment here in Australia. Now, let's start off by having a look at the current unemployment rate, everyone. Now, this is for all of Australia. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring up my Australia map here because I haven't programmed it in yet for some of these things that we're going to look at. Now, right now, we can see the unemployment rate has crept down below 5%, everyone. It's doing quite well, guys, depending on where you look at. We've got the Roy Morgan unemployment rate, which is about double the current ABS unemployment rate. Now, I know, I'm just grabbing it here. ABS, we're sitting at 4.9. Now, Roy Morgan, we'll go Roy Morgan unemployment rate. And I'll bring that chart up here. We're sitting at a little higher. If we scroll right down here, right down to the bottom, Roy Morgan have us at 9.4%. Now, they use different methods, different methodology to measure their unemployment rate, everyone. What's important is just to look at the consistency if they're both trending down. I tend to, the skeptical side of me tends to think the Roy Morgan one is probably a little bit more accurate, but the ABS data is what's going to be used to make policy decisions. So that's why we need to pay attention to it. You can dismiss it as much as you want, but this is what the politicians are going to look at, this is what the majority of people are going to pay attention to, and this is what the media is going to fawn over. That's just the way it is. So unemployment rate is going down. So then why are we, we're going to be looking at an article discussing growing job insecurity? Well, frankly, I think times are changing. Some of the privileges and perks that previous generations may have had when it came to jobs and employment. Just look at the insane super schemes some of these older civil servants got. It just seems completely laughable. All reward, no risk. Previous generations, I don't think they realized how good they had it or how spoiled they were. So ironic, isn't it? People think millennials are the spoiled generations, and some of them got such perks at work. It's unbelievable. And, this is from the perspective of a small business owner. So it's a completely different world. People seem to think that small business owners are just, all rich millionaires that aren't struggling. Yeah, if only that were true, guys, we were all sold the lie. So let's have a look at this article from Yahoo Finance. How safe is your job? A shift in Australia's workforce is well underway. Australia's workforce is set to become more insecure than ever as the pandemic encourages large enterprises to hire less permanent staff and more contractors, new research has revealed. Now, I'm not at all surprised. There's a general shift just to offshore because it's easier. You don't have to jump through as many hoops. If you've actually gone through the pain of having to hire someone and then trying to get rid of them, if they're not a fit, if they're not a cultural fit, it can be a real pain. You've got to jump through one hoop after the other hoop after the other hoop. And it just gets to a point where you look at ways of reducing having to hire people. The more onerous they make the process of hiring and firing, the more people are going to look at alternatives, either offshoring or automation. Look at our supermarkets. They've got self-checkout appearing more and more. You've got Macca's. You rock up there. There's used to be counters all everywhere. Now it's just all the little screens that you type in. And this is the thing. You need to make it easier to hire people than to do the alternatives. And often, ironic, some people don't appreciate it. You need to make it easier to cut the dead wood sometimes too. But anyway, back to this. According to the Global Workforce Agility Report 2021, which surveyed more than 1,000 senior executives across 13 countries by outsourcing and staff firm Kelly OCG, Australian business leaders are more likely than their global counterparts to plug skill gaps by hiring a contractor for the job, 52% in Australia compared to 48% globally. Well, yes, being a contractor has its advantages. You've got more freedom. You're your own boss. You can control your own time. You can control how you work. You get the tax advantages for being a contractor, having your own business. That's what it's meant to be. This is the thing where it gets a bit murky, where if you're a contractor for someone but they dictate everything to you, then you're not really a contractor, are you? Anyway, Australian firms are also less likely than global counterparts to hire new permanent staff, 36% in Australia compared to 45% globally. Can you blame them? Can you blame them, everyone? Because you want to be able to cull the people when you need to, if it's up and down. And it's tough, everyone. The red tape that you have to jump through here in Australia is a nightmare. Before the latest Delta COVID, we're calling it Delta now. Before the latest Delta COVID-19 outbreak, which has now sent 3 Australian states into lockdown, Australia's economic recovery saw the unemployment rate fall to a 10-year low, jobs ads at an all-time high, and sparking a massive war for talent across the nation amid closed borders. Now, hopefully we'll start to see, I always pull this chart up as a bit of a joke to see how terrible the RBA has been at anticipating wage growth, but hopefully we will see a increase in wage prices. Hopefully this competition for skilled workers will see an increase in wages. But this is the thing, how many people, what incentive is there to get into business here in Australia? Think about it. Just buy a house, guys. Buy a house, you'll make more. You'll have less stress. You won't have to deal with the staff. You won't have to deal with the super funds or the union or bank-controlled super funds. You won't have to deal with the red tapes and the politics. You won't have to deal with the hashtag #MeToo risk that's now involved in running a business. All of these things just add up, and they disincentivize people from hiring staff full-time or for even starting businesses. Just talk to anyone who's gone through it. There'll be a lot of people that, you're all young and energetic, and after a few years, you kind of get hardened a bit. You really do. And I know people, meeting them for coffee, their entire workforce, they've got like 5 people in Australia, everyone else is overseas. All the Australians do is manage overseas. That's going to cause a skill drought here, particularly in architectural drafting. A lot of it will get sent overseas. Kelly OCG, Asia Pacific Regional Director Peter Hamilton, said organizations were dealing with the fierce war for talent by taking a more fluid approach. There's a high demand, skilled workforce out there delivering on temporary requirements, he told Yahoo Finance, adding that businesses need to respond quickly to challenges to survive. A lot of the war for talent has been absorbed through the creation of new temporary jobs. About a quarter of all Australian employees are classified as casual workers, which includes everything from independent contractors to gig workers and tradies. Hamilton estimates that roughly a third of office staff working for Australia's large enterprises today would be provided externally. You go into most large enterprises in Australia, and the executive would probably struggle to tell you how many temporary workers, how many contractors, or how many other service providers they are engaging, he said. They may have a handle on the permanent workforce, but unlikely to have a true view of the people coming into the organisation to get work done. So Aussies are seeking out temporary work. Hamilton believes that the shift to a more temporary workforce is also being driven by workers who are itching for new opportunities. Research and advisory firm Gartner's latest Global Talent Monitor report shows that 24% of Australian workers are looking to switch jobs as work-life balance and mental health becomes increasingly prized above career growth. Now, I can 100% agree with that statement. 100%. Our business, we've scaled back significantly over the years. We're now based from home. We went from having staff, having a premises, going out there chasing work, to working from home, doing 3 or 4 projects a year of decent size. There's certain work I won't really do anymore, to be quite honest. I mean, I've got people contacting me to do small residential stuff. We really aren't going to be competitive for that, guys. You can go to a building designer or an architect that specializes, just churns it out. We're more, either bigger mining jobs or education work at the moment, which is coming to us, where our skill set is better suited and we're more experienced and we can do it cost effectively. Where the little houses, I can't compete with someone doing it for $500. And back in the day when I was, I had a team of people that I had to go out and get work for them. So I'd be out there doing the marketing, doing the networking, all of that stuff. And I enjoyed it. It was fun, but you've still got to bring the work in. So you can go out, meet with these people, have coffees, talk, chat, and then you're still competing for a job. And then you're still losing to someone who's doing it for half your fee overseas. So now I'm kind of a different position. I'm no longer aiming to grow a big firm or chase the prestigious work. I'll do stuff that comes to us, projects that we enjoy, that are actually, frankly, much more rewarding than some of the bigger brand names we work for. And I've got no stress, and quality of life is through the roof. So I can completely see where people are, maybe this has been their first step away. The lockdowns, for some people, I guarantee you, has been their first step away from the bloody treadmill, from the hamster wheel, from the rat race. Going, you know what, talking to your wife, going, honey, I'm not doing this shit anymore. I can't go back to do this crap. We got to do something else. So hopefully that will be the silver lining to all of this. Maybe I'm just being naive, everyone, but hopefully. Or even if people are working in businesses, they might learn to work remotely. So then, okay, we don't need the office. We'll find other ways of working. I remember I was talking to one lawyer, and he had this app that they'd built. Their entire business was remote work. And the app identified places where you get free internet, where you could work for free, unharassed, all around the country. They just mapped it. It was brilliant. They're like 30 people, all remote. So the reality is a lot of people want to be engaged, particularly knowledge workers like the IT contracting population in Australia. There's the desire to be working with for the latest technology, says Hamilton. They're generally getting a premium above their colleagues. It's a good time to be looking for work right now, Hamilton added. The proof is in the data. SEEK's latest employment report reveals that industries from all kinds of sectors currently hiring include professional service sectors like legal, banking, and advertising. For candidates who are motivated to look for work, that's a great opportunity right now. HR partners Jeanette Lang said most organizations nowadays are employing a mix of temporary and full-time workers, which makes for a more responsive, productive workplace and a flexible job market. Workers are embracing the pandemic-triggered volatility in the employment market right now, she said in a career advice note from December. Many people have moved to the flexible short-term contract and temporary arrangement because they are either between permanent roles or by choice to expand their resume by industry and skills. I mean, that's the thing. You need to look at your... Well, there's no loyalty in a business. Okay, they're going to cull you if they need to. It just happens. We've had to do it too when we had to let people go. What the value is to make sure your skill set is valuable and diverse, and it doesn't stagnate. And sometimes you need to shift jobs and businesses and careers and opportunities to ensure that happens. The COVID-19 experience has given them pause for thought, and they now want to embrace a more flexible work-life balance. So COVID-19 worsened insecure work. The pandemic has exacerbated a trend of casualisation with Australia's workforce that is already happening. Research has shown that the pandemic hit low-paid insecure workers the hardest. Casual employees lost their jobs at a rate of 8 times faster than permanent workers, and part-time job losses were 3 times worse than full-time workers, the Australian Institute Centre for Future Work analysis reveals. Women and young people in particular have been impacted the most, with Australia's pandemic-triggered downturn earning the nickname the Pink Recession. Really? I haven't read this before, the Pink Recession. Have you heard the Pink Recession? Anyway. Not only that, but the jobs recovery that started in May 2020 was driven predominantly by insecure jobs. From May to November last year, 40,000 new casual positions were created at a rate of 2,200 per day. Speaking to a Senate Select Committee on Job Security in April this year, Centre for Future Work economist Dan Newham said the brunt of the the brunt of the government-mandated lockdowns and restrictions on our freedoms and ability to conduct commerce in an attempt to mitigate the spread of the illness. That's what happened. Was felt most acutely by casual workers. Following the initial brunt, later in 2020, we observed the fastest casualisation of the Australian labour market in history, as well as the increased prevalence of other types of precarious employment, he said. But casual employment is just one of several forms of insecure work, Director of the Centre for Future Work, Jim Stanford, added, which might include part-time jobs, temporary jobs, labour hire, independent contractors, and then the digital gig economy. Well, okay. People can really take advantage of the digital gig economy and independent contracting and even to all of these things to create greater flexibility and have more control over their life. Look at what's happened in California, where they've implemented all of these rules and regulations, and it's destroyed people's opportunities. What you need to do, you can't be dependent on any full-time job, or you can't expect it to last forever. That's boomer mentality. That's previous generations. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay, and you may lament that that's past and gone, but we've got a wealth of new opportunities now that you've never had in the past, everyone. You can you can learn things, learn new skills online, easier than ever before, for free. And you go into a workplace, you prove you can do something. That can create new opportunities. You can work online remote with people anywhere in the world. It's a different world. It is definitely a different world. And if you structure your life to take advantage of these new opportunities, well, then you can have some safety with regards to the uncertainty that, these casual jobs and the government intervention in the economy has. Anyway, so the problem of precarious work is bigger than the problem of casual work, and I think it's wrong to focus on the ratio of casual employment as the only indicator. Insecure work, defined more broadly, has definitely become, in a way, the new normal for a great deal of the labour market. According to Griffith University Professor of Employment Relations, David Petz, many so-called casual jobs actually work permanent hours anyway. Well, that's good. They're getting paid additional amount of money. This is the thing. When you're casual, you get paid a loading to compensate for you. Now, do you want to be a full-time employer and you've got that illusion of security, which is what, a month? A month, guys, it's nothing. Okay? And then you're dependent on that business holding your holiday time aside, holding all your other payments and entitlements aside. What if they go under and you don't get anything? Wouldn't you rather you take that money and then invest it? Maybe you could buy shares. Maybe you could even put it cash in a bank, get some interest. Maybe you could use that money rather than sitting there for, entitlements that a business is going to hold on your behalf to help buy a house quicker. Wouldn't that be nice? This is the problem. People don't realize that all of these little things in full-time employment, that the pace of employment, that's a liability they have to you that they have to hold aside. And sometimes they may not be doing that. It may be 2 times are tough. Oh, that huge invoice is coming in a month. Just take it out of that bank account there. That's why when you're running a business, you need to force your staff to take holidays every year just to burn through that money. And that's why hiring people as casual, you don't need to worry about that. You don't build up that bank of entitlements. You just pay it to them. So it's better to just call them leave-deprived employees, he wrote in a recent piece for The Conversation. They get paid more, mate, okay? How many people don't take leave or get it paid out at the end anyway? Seriously. Okay, professors, university is a real different world if you've ever worked in a university there. Guys, the culture is very different, and just work, let's just say, it's variable on the amount of effort they put in. I wonder why I'm not teaching at uni anymore. The big difference between leave-deprived employees and permanent is the power the employees have. Sometimes you hear the term permanent casual. They should more accurately be called permanently insecure. Okay, not everyone has tenure at a university. What's the difference? Being casual, okay, you could be going like that. Being permanent, you got a month, if that. Okay? What would you rather? Would you rather have that month, or would you rather have the 22% loading you get as a casual? You tell me. Leave. You ever going to use it? Maybe you leave between jobs. How many times did people never take the leave and they maybe just took time off from one job to another, as a professional? It comes down to your skills, guys. You can't have all these other people, the unions, all these other ones. We're sticking up for you. We'll get you better conditions, better job. Just pay us this money. Or these academics pushing their whole agenda, or politicians telling, we'll take care of you. We'll look out for you. It's all bullshit. You can't trust any of them. Okay, they're just going to sell you whatever they can to get your votes, to get you ideologically dependent on them. Reality, it comes down to your skills. If you have skills, if you have capabilities, then you can have a greater chance at finding work. And that's what you need to do. If you stick in one job for too long, Okay, back in the day, previous generations, they would have said, stick in one job, the company will be loyal to you. Not anymore. That's complete bullshit, guys. It's out the window. Your skills are the most important thing, and you need to get good and develop a range of skills. And maybe you're feeling hopeless. If you're unemployed and you're between jobs, you don't want to atrophy. You want to look at ways that you can create skills, learn things. That I would say, okay, you got some time between work, create your own projects. Start a YouTube channel, start learning a new skill, create a project, learn how to program something, learn how to write something, take up public speaking, create something. In architecture, if you're between jobs, enter competitions, do designs. You want to create work and opportunities. So you go, instead of being unemployed for a period, you're saying, no, I took some time off, even if it's not true, I took some time off to work on some architectural competitions because I wanted to broaden my skills and learn new horizons. I wanted to learn these new software, learn these new tools. That's how you need to think about it, guys, because it's just all bullshit. You can't depend on anyone else. It's up to you to step up and have the agency to take advantage of it. Maybe that's a foreign concept to some people, but that's what I'd recommend. That's my solution to all of this. And if you're on the casual, remember that 22%. That's not extra money you spend now. You put that aside to build up your passive income stream, so you get to the point where you can tell them to get stuffed. That's the goal for everyone. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. I'm sure this will be an interesting topic and a variety of opinions on this one. It'll definitely get the comments going. Take care. Have a great day. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy my content, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy a merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.